and gentlemen, broadcasting live.
Let's go, baby!
From Dallas, Texas.
No puppies, I need a dog to make a play.
Presented by the law firm of Vincent Carrizales.
It's time for football.
It's Paco's Locker Room Talk.
What a day, what a day, what a day.
Welcome to Paco's Locker Room, Cowboy fans. Hey, this is the place where true blue fans get to hear the stories from America's team and the team that helped build champions. Get the stories directly from the Warriors that played the game, had the fame, and had no shame. The dynasty continues. The inside stories you could only get here directly from the men that lived it, only here on Paco's Locker Room. Welcome to Paco's Locker Room.
Welcome, Solomon.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. Billy, we missed you last week. Tell us what happened.
Well, I had to go get the moneymaker. So I was out there with several doctors. I'm in the healthcare platform. So with that, I had a presentation that I had pre-planned. We were talking about health earlier. So to give a proper introduction to Solomon Page here, who we're very, very, very happy to have here to talk about some great locker room stories, life, things that you were doing. But I got one little bone to pick with you.
Yes, sir.
So I went to Pitt. I think that's all we got to say.
Here we go. That goes deep.
So we have this thing called the backyard brawl.
Yeah,
right?
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah, WVU. If I'd have known that, I'd have worn my shirt.
That's what I said. I'm like,
I should have told you.
I was like, Morgantown. I was like,
Yeah.
oh. I love. Now, I'm going to tell you a quick Pitt story. Then we want to get into your background, but we're very similar. So we're a couple hours in this corridor, and
I'm from Pittsburgh.
And you're from
Pittsburgh.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that was almost like.
Yeah.
Well, you know, either you go to Penn State or you Pitt or West Virginia.
Yeah.
So I remember I used to hang out with Major Harris.
Yeah.
All them
Like,
cats.
that's my brother, man.
What was the cat's name? I played with him at Oakland, the receiver. Played for years. Fastest dude I've ever seen. He ran the 200 meter dash.
Brown.
With Ted Brown.
Ron Brown?
No. He played. He was a wide receiver. It's not James Trapp, but it's another guy. Anyway, I'll come back to him. We went down to Morgantown. Morgantown, you guys had one of the best party schools in America.
Number one party school all the years I was there. So.
But I tell you what, we did not like it. That rivalry was,
We burned couches, man. It was crazy. The fans were just, they were serious.
walking down. You guys would rip down the goalpost and walk down the middle of the street, and the house would be like, "I'm good."
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what it was.
Continue on.
Oh yeah, it was insane, man. It was good times, man. It was the kneeling era, man. It was good times.
That's right. Yeah, that is good, man. That's some good time. I mean, I love that time in college, but it leads you to other things. So, more importantly, and I think this is important, and I'm sure Cowboy fans want to know about this. I want you to just give us kind of a flavor of how your beginnings, because I remind fans. Not only is it special, and by the way, whenever you guys see me wearing these shirts, these are all the shirts from the 95, from the last Super Bowl we won. So I'm wearing
95.
one from a player. I got the entire team to sign a jersey for me when I played. I'm wearing one for every show. So if you're ever wondering, I'm wearing this is not Zeke Elliott. This is the champion.
Yes,
Sanders.
proven. one of the few smart ones that got all the jerseys signed.
Yeah, and I'm not going to wear a jersey. I'm not going to wear his jersey till he wins one.
That's right.
But this is, I always, we always try to remind fans, and you want stories that you can only get here. And I think what's important for people to understand, we need to humanize the people who played, but we're part of a rare fraternity. 0.003% of the population got to do what we do, and even less got to play for America's team.
Absolutely.
So having that experience, it's always important to see where you came from, how you got here. People probably don't know the story. They see you show up.
Yeah.
And this is not just Adwater League.
Okay, absolutely. No, that's a great way of putting it. I just my start with the Cowboys was it was kind of a rocky one, but after it smoothed out. After I'll just be honest with everything. When I came in, I guess marijuana was a big thing,
Right.
And for whatever reason, they tested me and. Because I told him when I came out of college, used marijuana. You know, I was advocating for marijuana before I even knew I was advocating.
You were ahead of your time. You didn't even know it.
Pretty much, yeah. And you know,
Calvin Johnson used it. He just admitted, to your point, and I don't think this is taboo. Before it's taboo. When we went back then, it's taboo, right? Because of marijuana, it was on par with like heroin. It's like, no, bro.
Yeah. And
It's
you
not
know,
that serious.
and it was literally it winded me down. And,
Right.
you know, it was you know, and you know, we did the opioids because it was all available. Right. It was all about what
was
worked.
instant.
Yeah, what worked better for you. You know, so
Sure.
so that was more my taste. They knew that, so when they found that out, they was like, hold on, are we okay with this guy? You know, and when they seen I was okay, they said, okay, come on in. You know, so and after that, I came in training camp. It was great. Hudson Houck was my coach.
HUD.
Yeah, Hud, that's my guy,
That's my
man.
dude.
Love that dude. He's rough around the edges, but he's a great guy. You
He
know?
is the quintessential offensive line coach.
Absolutely.
Whenever-
He's so
yeah.
small. That's what's so funny. He's a little short guy, and he played guard in college, and he's an awesome guy though. But he
He's
brought
right out of Central Casting. That guy, if they ever like, what is the look of a offensive line coach?
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to have a picture of Hudson Houck, Coach Hudson Houck. So when I came in, I was, the way I seen it, I was coming in with legends. You know what I mean? I seen, Larry Allen on one end. You had Eric Williams on the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these guys, Stepnowski, you have Flo, who's, he done got a name for himself. So I'm like, yo.
Hotel.
Yeah, so I'm like coming in eyes wide like, okay. All right, I see what this is. I got to make sure I'm not the weak link. You know what I mean? And that was my whole thought process. And Hud seen that. He seen how hard I was working. And shoot, my first year, it was like people went down, just caught the injury bug, and Hud had to throw me in there. He threw me in the fire.
Right.
And after that, it was just hit the ground running, never look back.
That's awesome. I know, in that unique situation, because I always tell people, I can imagine if I ended up, in Buffalo or somewhere where it was a team that didn't have the culture. But you walked in there, so your mentality instantly had to been like on. I mean, any kind of, whatever accolades you brought from the past do not exist when you walk in that room. Because you're like, Larry Allen, Troy Aikman back there. It's like, okay.
And that was just the offensive line. That was the offensive line.
Right.
Now you look in the backfield, look who you're blocking for.
Right.
Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like these are legends, man.
Chris
These are guys who going up against my Pittsburgh Steelers at the time. You know what I mean? So and rightfully so. These guys are legends, and I'm looking like, wow. But I didn't have no time to be starstruck because, like I said, Hud was all like, "Yo, man, you're ready. Get in there." And
Right.
so
It's time to go.
So that was it, man. So
That's awesome. That is awesome. So, what can you give us a little background on? Because we had some guests, and it's important for people to know that what's your story leading up to that situation, and and I do want to talk about some of the locker room interactions because, from a rookie's perspective, what was it like to be talking to those legends in that room, and then when did that kind of new car smell leave? But I do want to touch on your beginning because I think that's important because I want to hear people hear your story, and then we want to talk about the inside stories. So can you just give some insight on kind of the high school, and then of course we talked a little bit about West Virginia already.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, city of Pittsburgh, right there, smack dab in Mount Washington. Went to Brashear High School with you said Major Harris.
Yep.
So that's the same high school we went to along with Mike Booth, Milton Redwine. These are all the guys who went to West Virginia before me.
Wow.
So it was kind of out of my high school.
They were targeting your high school.
Yeah, our high school had studs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it was no thing for me to say, okay, I see these guys, they're excelling and doing their thing up there, so I want to go up there too. So that's what kind of took me to West Virginia.
Oh, nice.
And after that,
I can't believe how big you were.
yeah, that's what 315, 320 look like. Look at those paws around my buddy's head. See, that's one of my guys from West Virginia, Barrett Green.
Nice.
Okay.
We actually played together in West Virginia. That's why
awesome.
the love was so serious.
Isn't that great when you're just like, man, we made it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is, man. Like we're on the other side, man. This is it,
Right.
So, and it was just a good time,
Did you play the Big 22?
Big 33.
Big 33, that's what it's
No,
called. Yeah.
I didn't. No, I didn't, man. I lost my doggone invitation.
Did you?
I lost it. I got it late. And by
Right.
the time I got it, it was, I lost it. Went to go looking for it because it was too late. So, no.
So Big 33 is kind of the all-star game that
In Pennsylvania,
and
Ohio.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania, Ohio. That was the big thing back then. I don't even know if it exists anymore.
I don't know, but I remember that because that's what they all talked about, like the
huge.
Big 33.
Yeah, it was huge.
People, because what I think is important, and I think you could probably relate, especially when you came to Texas, how big football is through the entire culture, community.
Absolutely.
Everything is kind of centered around that family.
Even from up top in the East Coast to down here too, like you seen.
Very similar.
Yeah, very similar, and you can
Ohio,
see the
PA, Texas.
Yeah, even to the down like Georgia and Florida.
Yeah.
In Florida,
You're right.
So you're absolutely right, man. You see the culture in football everywhere.
Right, and it's meaningful and important. So
absolutely.
So just fast forward a little bit. I know people want to hear this. Is what was it like when as a person walking as a mountaineer, and I hate to say that thing, it makes me cringe. Coming out of Morgantown and ending up in Valley Ranch. And now, obviously, where'd you guys have training camp? Were you guys up in
Wichita Falls?
Yeah, the hottest place on the planet.
Man.
The hottest place with no shade on the planet. That anybody
correct.
doesn't know.
And one bar.
And one bar.
That's
Yeah, there's
it,
no
one
relief
bar.
in that.
That's
That's why they chose that place. And then they got our ass out of
Oh
Austin.
my gosh.
What was it like? Just give us kind of give us a little bit of how that initial when you guys were in your room and you're like, okay.
It was, I remember the first year, man. I remember after that camp, I said that was hell on earth. Like, literally.
They have a bicycle race called Hell on Wheels. I think.
Do they really?
Yeah, every year.
I know what hell on earth was.
Yeah.
Like the sun, the practices. You know what I mean? Like there's no real downtime. Like it's like everything.
You had no
is,
time to be starstruck because you're too tired.
Yeah, you just spent. You know what I mean? So it was just like wow. And just so happens my year there, it was like triple digits for like the whole month.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Two days, full.
They had
contact.
tables. They had tables outside of the infirmary. Because
they're giving
An
out
infirmary.
high-
There's an infirmary.
Yeah, they had outside because there wasn't enough inside.
I do remember
everybody
that.
was
Yes.
dehydrated.
Yes,
You
I do remember that. Yes.
Oh, it was insane.
They were out there with the IVs hooking them up outside.
IV,
That's
yeah.
what happened to me. So
Yes,
So
I
I'll
do
tell you
remember
what,
that.
I'll give you one of my crazy lies. We had obviously Austin and Wichita, similar climates, and I did 1 year. I did 1 year in Wichita. Did you ever lock up?
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. Talk about a fragile moment for a man. Oh my God. You scream, you holler, you don't know what to do.
You can't do anything.
Was it a whole body?
I had the whole body,
Oh,
and they
my
stuck me in the
God.
cold tub.
That's
and
the worst.
That's the worst. So what happens is your whole body cramps up, and playing the environment, full pads.
You can't help it.
They
There's
couldn't
nothing
find
you
a
can
van
do.
because they took two people,
Pry.
unpry
Yes.
you open and stick you in a cold tub.
Yeah.
And as a big man, I can't imagine.
That happened to me. That happened to me numerous times. The worst time I was in West Virginia and I got sick before a game. Threw up, runs, the whole thing. So I
Right.
was dehydrated before I had the game. We went out, we crushed them. Third quarter come out. I come to the sideline and my arm just curled up. I'm like, what's going on? And then when that happened, this one started curling up. I'm like,
your
I
body.
need help. I don't know what's going on. So they came over and they're like, you're cramping. So then it started going into my ribs. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So they took me in the back and they threw me in a cold whirlpool. I was like, this isn't working. That's when they found the vein and popped it in.
Oh man.
Second one, we were coming back. I think, who do we play? New York, the Giants.
Right.
I'm on the plane.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
Oh my God, people. On the plane is the worst thing you can actually have happen to you is catching cramps, a full body cramp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get to lay in the aisle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, you scream like a little girl. Everybody looks at you. They're like, oh, he's just cramping.
And you don't
know,
get-
and then
yeah,
everybody
exactly.
kind of gets you up, and they just move to the side and just you're laying in the middle of the aisle like a newborn baby.
Sweating to death.
Excuse me, Solomon, let me go to the bathroom. Scoot over just a minute while you're cramping up.
Exactly. Like you're just laying there. And you don't see him dying.
Exactly.
Find
Hey
a
guys,
band.
real quick, let's go to break real quick, and then we'll come right back. Okay, guys, we'd like to welcome you to the law office of Vincent Carrizales, available 24/7 at 214-942-4500. He can actually get you out any time of the day or night. And back in the days when we were at Valley Ranch, we definitely needed his number. I could have just written it on the
bathroom?
or put it on everybody's check stub. You know what I'm saying? So everybody would know who to call.
Yeah, if you do need him, it's good to know to have a resource than not to have a resource and need him.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is.
You never want to get caught up twisted.
Yes, of course. And then our second sponsor comes from King's Wheels. These guys are starting to do the wheels for the players now. Current players, yeah. They've got over 500 sets of wheels in stock to choose from, all major lift kits and lowering kits for your truck. Financing available, 100 days, same as cash. Back in the day when your league, you never worried about financing. You just pay cash.
Paid for it.
Just cash that check, brother, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But as low as $40 down, and you can take it all home today. Wheeling and dealing since 1980. They just did someone's wheels just last week. One of the current players.
Actually being able to finance is pretty awesome too.
Oh yeah,
That's
definitely.
really
Hey,
great.
cash, man.
Yeah.
Cash, it's expensive.
But don't forget, mention Paco's Locker Room Talk, and you would definitely get 10% off of your next purchase.
Hey,
There you go.
I might have to go mention it myself.
There we go. Well, let's get back to what we were talking about, cramping up, and some of the things you experienced. Don't pay attention to me, Billy. I'm trying to.
He's already he's got the indictment mic. 90s. He got the indictment mic.
Yeah.
Because I got indicted with Mike, so I am allowed to say that. So I'm gonna give you my 90s story. Coming from Pittsburgh, wide-eyed. I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses. I was trying to keep up with the Joneses. I was trying to keep up with the Irvins. Lord have mercy.
Man.
So I'm in them streets, and I'm not saying anything disparaging, but I can say it because on national television. I said, Mom, I'm gonna make Sports Center. I'm gonna make Sports Center. Yeah, I made Sports Center all right. And it wasn't in the way I had hoped to. I remember he had gotten indicted. He roared his mink in there, and then they put me under that indictment. They had 3 marshals sitting outside my, I think, statute of limitations already done, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I had like 3 marshals sitting outside my apartment. And I bolted out of my back window. They were sitting there waiting to take me in. What? And then I looked on television. My mom calls me, and so I'm looking, and she goes, "Honey, you made Sports Center." They said that what's going on? You got indicted with Michael Irvin about what? What is going on? I'm like, Mom, I don't know. And that's not how I wanted to make that show.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, crazy. The 90s. Man,
Yes.
golden era, baby. Golden era.
When he first came into the league, this is exactly what he had on, the Dookie robe. I'll never forget, the first day he was in Dallas, he showed up at Ed Jones' party, and he had the big Dookie robe
That's what
on.
I'm saying. The Dookie robe,
Yeah,
the fur coat, that's style, man. That's straight.
Sunglasses on at night
Yeah,
at
stunting.
Ed
Hey, the
Jones'
cops had a
party.
hit out for him too at the time too.
What was that cop? There was a cop
was a
that was
cop. It
his
was-
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well,
It was crazy
hold on.
business
Speaking of that, how do you try to hire someone to kill Michael Irvin? Back out of the deal, they still indict you and they lock you up. And the lady that killed Botham John murdered him, and she got put in jail 3 days later for 1 hour. How does that work?
What?
That's crazy. That is the crazy.
How does that work?
The 90s.
Come on, man. How does that work? She murdered a man. Now, whether she
That's
intended
crazy.
to or not, the 3 things she had going for her: she was female,
That's crazy.
she was a Dallas cop, she was white.
That is right.
Had that been one of us, guys, you think
Yeah.
you'd still be in there saying, "Man, I didn't mean to shoot him," even though
I'll have to call Mr. Cazavales.
Carrizales, yes.
But the night. I mean, now that is an unfortunate circumstance. But speaking of items, what was the first thing you bought when you got some money in your pocket?
A house and a car.
So, I mean, the first time you say, when you first got, because you remember, they used to give us hard checks. They used to actually hand us a check.
A house and a car.
Was it the Navigator?
That's something I never had before. A house and a car. Yeah, well, I actually had my Navigator.
Okay.
I paid it off. Look, I paid that off.
I owned it.
Yeah, I owned it, and then I got a crib. I mean, like I was like, that was the dream to me. Once you get to the NFL,
I made it.
I made it. It wasn't the chain. It wasn't the my mom, she got me some nice little earrings. Little
Yes, I remember you had the little
but
earrings.
that was about it. That was it, man.
Billy,
I was just
were you
happy
there
with
when he
that.
came to the team?
I just went to Baltimore.
Let me tell you how he came to the team. Correct me if I'm wrong, Solomon. This man came in with black drive-by sunglasses, the real dark ones. They just go straight across your eyes.
Lokes.
Flannel, Lokes, a flannel shirt button at the top.
You thinking of Demetrius underwear.
Oh, I'm talking about you, man.
I didn't have flannels. That wasn't my style. I didn't do flannels. I did wear
Bro,
Timbs.
I had a picture. I don't know why I didn't bring it of you dressed just like that. And I said, that's the Solomon Page I knew right there.
Yeah, I had Timbs. I let my hair grow out. I got braids.
Yes.
Yeah, I just became real.
So you had braids. See, I had braids. I used to do the hair thing.
Yeah.
I was like, we were doing this way before these cats were out.
Oh,
But Billy, you
man,
look too much like Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
Because you had him way down to your shoulder. He looked just
so
like
you had
Milli
that
Vanilli.
good
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let me put it like this.
He did.
Everybody rocking that joint now like that. So I was ahead of my time, brother.
Yeah,
That's true.
everybody has
I mean,
them
you- and like
flowing
you-
locks now. Everybody has it.
you know,
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
But this is the funny thing. So, they get on the brothers about, you got those locks. But, like when Clay Matthews and his blonde hair, they're over giving him Head and Shoulder commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like them both. I'm not gonna lie.
I ain't lying. I'm good.
I'll be like, man, those dudes, especially where I'm at now, the state I'm in. I like all their hair.
And look at that. I got the Sherman Hemsley going on here, man.
I like the locks. I like the Clay Matthews look. I like it all. Because right now, what I got going is, woo.
Yeah, I got the Sherman Hemsley going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what?
I was actually looking into the Deion Sanders deal.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm wearing this shirt. Maybe I need to. And I'm saying I ain't moving up to the east side because I'm moving. This thing is moving straight south.
Yeah. I actually gave him a call. I was like, I'm friends with Deion Sanders. Would you guys get me a quick appointment?
Yeah. Well, time should get everybody a discount. They're paying him enough money. He needs to hook up with you guys, man.
my God.
Seriously.
So it's funny that we're talking about. It's like in the locker room. What were some of your memorable engagements that you had? That memories that you had in those experiences that you'll never forget. With some of the guys that you've become friends with.
We just the camaraderie, man. Band of brothers type feeling. We had jokes, inside jokes for for coaches,
Right.
from the head coaches all the way down. And it was just funny. We would have certain little things we would do. I mean, even for the players, it was just fun, man.
Right.
It got a little rocky around there at the end of my career, and end of my stay at Dallas. And like you were saying, I was a little bit on mine, and
sure.
And I remember there was some things going down, and I think they tried to trade me, and I didn't appreciate that.
Took it personal.
Yeah, it took a person. I
Real
didn't
personal.
know. You know what I mean? I didn't know the business. Hey, things happen. So, point came, cameras came, and I was feeling some sort of way, and I was just like, well, Paige.
You didn't do a Taco Charlton, did you?
It was like, well, how do you feel? And that was the worst question they could have asked. What's going on? What's going? I said, man, they don't want me here, and I don't want to be here. I said, so that's pretty much it. So go write that in your papers. Go put it on your TV. Yeah, and that was it. And everybody just got quiet. And once the cameras up there, it's like, Paige, what the fuck you doing, man? What was you thinking? And you know what I mean? And that was one of those times where you're just like, man, and some things,
Are best left unsaid.
Exactly. And that was one of those lessons.
Well, that's when you realize this is a business.
Absolutely.
Because we've been playing,
Yeah.
but then they ain't playing.
Yes.
So, I always find, I kind of learned this trajectory too. So it's interesting, and now from our perspective, seeing the locker room now. So you look at guys, and you can see who gets along and who don't get along. you could tell you could tell how good of a team by the temperature of its chemistry. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of
The
temperature, is it mean
cohesion.
or is it me or we losing weight here? It's like it feels like 80 degrees in here, does it not?
It's a little hot. It's a
Yeah,
little
I'm
hot.
just wondering,
It is
you know,
warm. I got a
maybe-
little-
But if you do that, I mean, and you see that chemistry, and that's kind of different thing when you see
Yeah, that cohesion. Yeah,
all day.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can kind of tell it. Like even like perfect example, the Browns.
Right.
Yeah, you think they look great on paper, but the cohesion, the chemistry, you know.
There's a bunch of islands trying to play together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Once they
individuals.
figure that out, they got to come together and break all that other stuff, throw it, leave it at the door, and come
Yeah.
get together. That's how it works.
So explain to me, 'cause obviously you've gone through a transformation, and a beautiful one at that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and I always tell people this, 2 points. Wear the locks, do it while you can, enjoy your youngness, enjoy this quality point of your life, because when you grow up, you got to grow up.
Absolutely.
But you went through transformation, and I think it's important for people to understand, hey, life after football, for however many years you put that work in, you played football for almost half your life. You got paid for a very small part of it, but you played it for a long time. And now that it's all done, you've had to retrain. So can you kind of enlighten us on, some of your challenges that you've gone through?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah, just like you said, man, it was just had to retrain, refocus, relearn, because when you're a football player, you could pretty much eat, do what you want to do, so how you feel, because you're going to go work it off, you're going to go burn it off, you're
Right.
going to go work it out, and and you're pretty much held to that, Or at least that's how I felt. And once my career was done, I picked up a little bit of weight, a lot of weight. I went from like 315 to 340, 345. Wow. Yeah, and I didn't, I didn't know what it was, what I was going through, that's a whole nother story. But I see myself, and I was like, man, I got to get on top of this, and that's where my journey kind of started. But it wasn't just seeing that. I actually got sick. Blood pressure became a thing. Blood pressure became such a thing that I actually, blood vessel popped in my nose, and my pressure was pumping so hard that it couldn't heal. So so I actually it was like bleeding for like a month.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Just straight bleeding?
Just straight bleeding. It was insane. It was like they literally like put like some type of tampon up my nose just to try to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
So once that started, I got on a regimen of a whole bunch of other things, man. Learned I was dealing with not only that and blood pressure. I learned I was dealing with brain issues, brain trauma
Right.
from concussions.
Right. All the TBI and all the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I deal with that. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you're banging heads.
Yeah, and I had
Yeah, but he's banging heads
and I had no
every
clue.
second.
play.
Every play.
I had no clue of it. You know what I mean? Like I said, the
Right.
things that we deal with, especially you could speak from vouch for this as a football player. Heck, if you can play hurt, you can live hurt. You know what I mean? That's pretty much our thought process.
Good words, yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, shoot, if I can play hurt, living is nothing being hurt. And I actually had a doctor tell me that's not right. Like you should.
That's not how you're supposed to be living.
Yeah, that's not how you're supposed to be living. So like I had to. Everything was rethought. You know what I mean? So I started.
And a re-education of yourself, right?
Yeah, so I learned about portion control, portion sizing. I learned that salt isn't the real bad thing. It's sugar. Sugar's the culprit.
All
you
day,
know,
yeah.
because I loved sugar. I ate
love
so much sugar. And I had
it's addictive.
It's addictive. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what I was about to say. I would literally have a bucket of like little miniatures, Reese's, and stuff like that by the bed. And I didn't sleep good. My
Right.
sleep was terrible. I was like an insomniac. But when I did go to sleep, I would wake up.
First thing you grabbed.
Really? Wow. I wasn't that bad, though.
Yeah,
I
it
wasn't
was
that bad.
man.
Really? Yeah, because they said that's one of the. I mean, that is. The,
Wow. I wasn't that
Absolutely.
bad,
yeah,
brother.
man. It was like crack, man. Like, literally, seriously, like that was my.
But
crack.
that's a brain thing.
Yeah.
Your
Damn.
brain was acknowledging.
Yeah, so I had to get after that, and these were just like little battles and things that I literally had to go.
Well, let's talk about what. I want. Let's bookmark that right there. What was that challenge of overcoming that? Because I think that's similar to like in the locker room, learning plays. You had to retrain yourself and you didn't. But you're your own support system. You're your own motivator. You're your own coach, and you are the player in this circumstance. Because life after football is no joke.
Absolutely. Yeah, and my wife, she did the best she could trying to be there, but sometimes you're absolutely right. You feel like you're alone, even though you have people around her.
Because it's you.
Yeah, because of how you walked and how you did it, and not too many people walk that line, like you said. Right. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, God bless my wife. She was
patient and good for her.
They're all unsung heroes.
Yeah, seriously.
The wives.
But it was like literally, it was an everyday. After, like, you wake up and you have to refocus on that every day. It wasn't just like, oh, I overcome, no, I'm good. Nah, like even now, even days, I have days where I'm like, okay, Saul, no. No, I know that looks delicious, and you would just
look away.
No, you know what I mean? Because we have that little thing in you, man. Go ahead and take a piece.
One to
You'll be all right. Yeah, you know what I mean. And then that opens the whole door for everything else. So you just try to be strong and be committed.
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, guys, let's go to break real quick, and real quick, 30-second, 1 minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up with Solomon Page. We've got some questions for him. Get some quick answers from him.
Great.
Absolutely.
This is Jesse A. Montoya, raised on the streets of West Dallas. Started boxing in the late 1950s, making a promise to his mother that he would move her out of the poverty-stricken area. As a kid, Jesse would be one of the first in the state of Texas to compete against other African-American kids during the lift of segregation and the beginning of the civil rights movement. 60 years have passed and Jesse continues to be a part of the sport. His passion for boxing has allowed him to serve as a trainer, a coach, a mentor, and a community leader, working with both amateur and professional fighters. Jesse has literally mentored generations of young fighters since the 1970s. He is recognized as one of the first Hispanic coaches in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, while pioneering the first inner-city amateur boxing program that has awarded him and the boxing gym that carries his namesake with numerous team trophies. Throughout the years, Jesse and his staff, that includes his sons Anthony and Michael, have trained many successful boxers, a program acknowledged by USA Boxing. This is Jesse A. Montoya of Montoya Boxing, a pillar of amateur boxing in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Okay, guy, I had to get rid of the Michael Irvin glasses. I can't even see him. I don't see how he does it. He's got glasses on even at night.
Dude, it's an image thing.
Okay.
It's not about comfort. It's not about efficiency. It's an image.
Okay.
But we were just, I want to revisit
Yes,
this discussion.
oh, yes.
We heard that you jumped out the jelly and found yourself in a jam. I want to know about the jelly, and I want to know about the jam you found yourself in.
I want to see what you did with them hands. First of all, let's show everybody his hand. Put your hand up.
Yeah.
Look at his hand compared to mine. Look at Solomon's hand compared to mine.
That's my money makers, man.
Man, come on, dog.
Man,
Those hands are huge.
Man.
Tell us what happened.
Nah, okay.
when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah, keeping it real goes wrong. I'm visiting my school up in West Virginia. This is after my first season, completed here, NFL, feeling good about myself. Go see my buddies, go back to school, call myself, doing big things. I buy out the little bar for my friends. Let's go. So,
chill.
Just relax. Somehow, an altercation happens between me and my buddies. And there's a big brawl in the middle of the street. Make a long story short. I'm like, yo, y'all chill out. This guy swings on me. I grab him, and I'm trying to swing on him. And by that time, the cops come.
And they gonna get the biggest
Oh,
deal.
my God. And to make a long story short, I throw my hands up. They maced me. I was the only one that got arrested.
Yeah, man. And you put the party on.
Talk about being on SportsCenter for the wrong reason. I'm sitting there at my buddy's apartment, and I hear on the TV, because I'm blinded from the mace, the pepper spray. you know. Solomon Page apparently got arrested for a brawl in Morgantown, West Virginia. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Off the chain.
Hello, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, that's when you realize it's a
Oh my
business because you're like, oh my
gosh,
gosh,
yeah.
now I got to do all this management. I got to manage
Oh
this.
man,
this-
look, Mr. Jones, it wasn't my fault. I promise it wasn't my fault. Watch, you'll see it wasn't my fault. Son, the only reason you're on my football team is because I think you can play a little bit of football. Yes, sir. Thank you.
You
Thank
don't
you.
want that, Jerry
Look,
Jones.
thank you. I think. Thank you.
So Solomon, when you came to the team, do you remember who was to the right and to the left of your locker?
I remember Mike Lucky. Mike Lucky.
Oh yes, a tight end. Remember him? Yeah.
Mike Lucky was he was
So you were on the end.
Yeah, he
Towards
was,
the
he was
end.
to the right of me, and who was to I think it was it Eric? It might have been Eric Williams. I think it might have been Big
Big
E.
E?
Hold on, it was Big E. Yeah, I think it was Big E.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
those two. Yeah, Mike Lucky, he was such a pessimist. Oh my God, he would be like, oh God, I hate to be here. Oh my God, we gotta go to practice. This sucks. Like,
Did you complain every day?
oh my God, it was so funny. It just made me laugh. Like it was like, I understand, man. Yeah. And then me. Aren't those the same clothes you left in yesterday? You didn't go home last night.
Hey, where have you been? Why is it-
Wow.
So yeah, we had some fun times.
Oh yeah. What about you guys? Weren't there when we had that running back on the team that he didn't shower? True story. I'm not going to say his name, but he did not. He did not shower.
unhealthy.
He did not shower. Swear to God,
That is unhealthy.
did not
Are
shower.
you talking about Kramer Richards?
Yes.
You know, that's my pit. I know you're talking about it because it's,
Well, why didn't you say? Well, that's the same guy that didn't shower at Pittsburgh.
He's at Pittsburgh. I mean, man, he's from Trinidad. They got a different way about the way about they go about their business.
So he go home and wash. I hope.
I don't know. The man had a hygiene regimen that I was unaware of. Wow. Swerving, curving, loved to death. But he had his way. He had his way. Swerving,
How do
curving
you
had his way.
coming off the field though?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't.
you've been rolling around in that dirt, grass.
That's all good. So let me ask you this. So what?
Come on, dog. I can't.
So who was because we had when I played, we had our Rat Pack. So I had my crew that we used to rock and roll, do the damn thing with no shame in the off season. Worldwide, we were worldwide players. So it was me, Big E, Hervin McCormick,
I'm scared of y'all.
and Leon
Ready.
Letty.
Man.
So that was my crew, and I used to hang out with Mike Irvin.
scared of
They
y'all
used to
already.
call me, they used to call Mike was Batman, and I was Robin, and I was good. So who was your crew that you can identify with back in those days with the Cowboys?
And that's easy. Right hand man was Calvin Garman.
Nice.
Kelvin Garman, yeah, KG.
KG. Big Flodini, Flozell.
Yeah.
Flozell.
Flodini. Of course, Larry Allen. Larry Allen, and that was pretty much the clique, man. It was just all the big boys, the big hosses.
Let me ask you this: did you ever ride with Larry Allen in his car?
That's his dude. I know you did.
We had jokes for him in them little ass Matchbox cars. He used to
Well, let me
get.
ask you this: did you ever see $100 spit cup? Am I lying? Am I lying?
He's the
People
only
think I'm
dude.
lying when I say that.
He's the only
Tell
guy.
him, Sal,
He's
thank
the
you.
only guy
Thank
who will
you.
have 6-figure cars.
Thank you.
6-figure cars.
Thank you. Everybody
Plural,
thinks I'm
cars.
lying. Yes.
And have spit cups like it's nothing. Spit cups have shit on the floor, just like it's.
Spit on the floor if he didn't have.
I don't know. I won't take it that far.
No.
but I know
But
he's.
they drip on the floor.
Yeah. I say he will drip definitely. But I know. Look, he just don't care. It's just like whatever.
That's exactly it.
This is
He
whatever, and I'm just like.
LA's a different.
I wanted to get to that status. That was the status
Yeah,
I was trying to go for. I'm not gonna lie to you. I said I want that.
Let me tell you a few stories. I found several times. I say $100 spit cups because he had $100 bills that he spit in.
He's spitting. Yeah.
Yes, and then I'd ask him. I'd look at it and I said, "L.A., you're kidding, right?" He's like, What happened?
I didn't have no tissue.
That's exactly what he said. I didn't have anything else to spin
I didn't
in.
have no tissue.
I
and I
said-
didn't want it to splash.
Yeah. So then I'd say, so why didn't you spin in $1 bill? She said, I don't
wanna
carry
get
one.
to-
I don't carry $1
carry
bills.
one. I
I got
Larry
hundreds.
Yes.
You're exactly right.
True,
That-
true story. I went to Vegas on the tailwinds of Larry Allen and had the most beautiful time.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
no lie, it was so funny. He was like, "Oh, I have rooms. You have rooms?
Yes.
You have." He didn't have little normal rooms. He had suites.
he had
I had my own suite. There was 3 of us. We all had our own suites. I didn't pay for it. He was just like, "You're
That's
good."
how you.
He was good. They comped him because when Larry goes out,
yes.
he doesn't like. He's a very good gambler.
That dude dropped.
Yes,
Dolo.
and I've seen him go to the slots with, like you said, $100 bills and just be like,
I mean, his wife won $800,000.
$800,000 at the Wynn, Sweetport, wasn't
Say
it?
what?
Sweetport.
She
$880,000.
she did.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Julie, wasn't that her name? Julie?
Well,
Yeah.
you got to gamble a lot to make that because that means they've been gambling. So the odds are you going to hit.
Man, yeah. Like I said, it doesn't bother him. Man.
I would get
It doesn't-
mad at him because I actually thought he was trying to set me up because I would find manila envelopes, the big ones, manila envelopes full of cash
Yeah.
just in his car. Like he said, Paco, get my ride cleaned up. Okay. And then he'd have all this cash here. I took it personal because I was like, this motherfucker's trying to get me fired or he's trying to set me up or something. So I take the money to him.
That's LA.
And I throw it at him and he's like, what the fuck's your, what's your problem, Paco? And I'm like, dude, what are you trying to set me up? He's like, what are you talking about? I said, you leave all this money in your car just thrown everywhere and you just testing me? He said, it's your job to clean my car. That's why I got you. So I would, every time I'd find the money, I'd just go put it in this, little,
Yeah, and that was it.
and that was it.
Wow.
That he
That's-
just left it everywhere.
LA. You know,
True statement. Money ain't a thing.
true. Yeah.
true
It
statement.
does not control him.
Yeah.
No,
That's what's nice. But
whatsoever.
Yeah.
what I really appreciate about LA, and I'm glad we have this crossover, and this speaks to this, and I'd like you to speak to this a little bit, that being a Dallas Cowboy and having these we have generational players that feel like that we didn't play together, but we all feel like we're part of the same thing. It's like we are all connected. Not every organization and that's what's unique about being part of the Cowboy Nation. That's what's unique about being a Dallas Cowboy, and that's why they love America's team. So that's important. I mean, can you really speak to that? Because I know we know guys who play in the league. They ain't got nothing to do with guys they play with or the organization they were with.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and it's a fraternity. It's like a Cowboys alumni fraternity, and we're all proud to be a part of.
Yes.
Regardless of the generation or the era, because all the eras were really special.
Right.
In all honesty, in my
All of them.
opinion,
All of
you
them.
know what I
They
mean?
all matter.
And that's why whenever I get suites to the fights, the big fights, either at the Star or Cowboy Stadium, I always invite you guys. I try to invite you guys.
This guy is the true Cowboys alumni.
I try to.
If it wasn't for him,
This guy Paco is the true Cowboys.
keeps everybody
alumni
together.
I try to
Keeps
keep
everybody-
everyone
keeps
together.
everybody together.
I
Truly,
wish
truly,
that-
and I appreciate that.
I do too.
And I wish the Joneses would maybe give us a little bit more to where we could have, maybe even once a year, if we just did a yearly Christmas party where
something.
all alumni could come together
That would be awesome.
and just have a good time, just like
Reminisce.
you in the locker room.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a nice reminiscence.
You know,
that'd
and
be
catch
great.
well,
up.
we used to have the alumni. I think they did away with it. They did because they haven't done it in the last 2 years. But they used to have the alumni. Remember, you used to have the
I've been
alumni.
looking for it and I haven't seen anything.
They are not doing it
Yeah.
anymore. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, guys, let's go to break real quick. Speaking of Cowboy merchandise, alumni merchandise.
What's to do with the?
I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Cowboy
I
House.
think you remember the Cowboy House.
Absolutely.
This guy bought all the seats in Texas Stadium, and he bought all the carpet. Yeah, this guy right
He
here.
bought the stadium.
Yes, he basically bought everything.
Yeah, I actually got 2 of the seats.
There you go.
nice.
Yeah, I mean,
I got 2 of the seats.
anything you need. I mean, this guy has it.
I'm gonna have to holler. At this guy.
Anything and everything. And I mean, his
Yeah,
warehouse.
That's what I have right there. I have a set right there.
You got those
Texas
seats?
Stadium
Yeah.
seats.
Yeah.
Did you get your number?
I think I did.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got it. Seats. I got
It's
it.
It's pretty neat. Yes,
Yeah, it's pretty
I mean,
cool, man.
He's got everything: single seats, double seats. Now he's selling just the bottoms or the tops. He's basically out of the tops now.
Yeah, it's really cool. Something you can actually put into your man cave or into your nice, like
Right.
outside
Yes,
seating, wherever.
yes.
You know what I mean? And if you're
And
a
it's an
true-
original.
true Cowboys
Yeah,
fan,
true
exactly.
Cowboy
if you want a
fan.
real true piece of Cowboy artifact.
Yes, this
awesome.
guy's great. and I believe his name is Chris Gordon.
You know what's funny? Can you go back down a little bit? Look how small. Go down the other way. Look how small that scoreboard was when we played. Go down. Keep going down.
going.
Look how small that little.
Oh yeah.
So we go. See, that's what we played.
Yeah.
Right.
That was
so
it.
if you look at it, I remember, and you have to look up, and this is speaks to the Cowboy House, which is awesome. Thank you for that picture, Cowboy House. I'm gonna holler at you and get you my own 2 seats. But I'm just looking at that now, and it's like we played. You have the great crossover. You have that great era where it's like. Where God can watch his team. That little scoreboard, that thing was that big.
Yeah.
It was only on one side.
Tiny. Yeah.
That thing was tiny.
Yeah. And
wow.
There's just the whole evolution of the stadiums now too, man.
It's amazing.
Playing in the Veteran Stadium to what they have now.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Philadelphia.
Now it's just.
Veteran Stadium was like playing out in the street.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Concrete with a piece of carpet on it.
Oh
yeah,
and holes in it. Like you had to
Oh
be
yeah, it was
careful.
scary.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Philadelphia was really bad.
It was bad, you know.
It's no wonder Michael,
Damn near lost it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened to the receiver from the Chicago. Blew out both his knees because they used to share it with the Phillies, and I remember they didn't put the boards in right, and he went into both boards and blew out both his knees at the same time.
Really?
Jumping up for a ball.
Wow. And speaking of the surfaces, I know your answer, but some people out there don't know it. Grass or turf? Because at West Virginia, didn't y'all play on grass, or y'all just
We
practice
played on
turf?
Y'all played on turf?
We played on turf.
Yeah,
But did y'all practice on
We
turf
played
also?
on grass. We practiced on grass. We
See?
played on turf.
So which one did you like better? Which one's easier on the body?
The old turf was brutal.
The old turf.
Oh,
is
yes.
brutal.
It gets you down to the
Chris,
white
I was
meat.
just about to ask. Now, are we talking the old turf? Because see, I was part of the era when we came in and we went from the old rug turf, like your granny's back porch,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
to the Astro turf. Where it was nice.
It was like cushiony.
Cushiony,
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're like, wow, this is pleasant.
Exactly.
But yeah, okay. I'm gonna say, like, it depends on the situation too. If it's raining out, give me turf. You know what I mean?
okay.
If it's raining out, you know what I mean.
Right.
If it's just a beautiful day, go ahead, give me grass all day.
Yeah.
Right.
So in the rain, you don't have any. It's hard to.
Yeah.
Your
But
blocks. and
Here's a
everything.
better way to put that answer, Puck. Which surface would you rather be taking a shower after?
There you go. That makes a lot of good sense because man, like Miami, when you play down in Miami, like the Dolphins, and they play on grass, and it rains, and once you get after that, you're just like, okay, let's go wash half of this dirt out.
It's all good.
Compared to your turf, it's just some sweat.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Skinned up.
Skinned up a little bit. If you put on enough tape and stuff, you'll be all right.
But if you don't, and that water hits that open wound,
Ooh,
it's your boy. Holla at your boy. Your falsetto voice will be absolutely coming out of your body.
sounded like Mariah Carey.
Exactly. Well, I know we're coming up on it, and this is important because what's important is about we played in an era, but we want to get your perspective because the one group that didn't seem to show up and talk about these current Cowboys, having this, been there, done that, had some success, played with all timers. Give us your assessment of this current Cowboy crew, and to me, it felt like they. That O-line, or maybe in general, might have been reading too many press clippings, and maybe took a little bit too for
Too
granted.
lightly.
But I understand it because you're inundated with all the social media. But just give me your perspective on that group because they seem like a pretty special crew.
Yeah, I mean, all the way around, I like the offense.
I do too.
I like the offense. I like the offensive line. I like the anchor on the left tackle. I like the boys all the way across. Just consistency is the name of the game. You're absolutely right. This is a social media time. Hopefully, those guys are smart and intelligent enough to know during the season you cut that stuff off so none of that gets to your head. But they just have to stay consistent in my eyes because them boys in the backfield they blocking for pretty special and amazing as well.
Right.
You
They ain't
know
been
what I
getting no
mean?
daylight lately.
Yeah, so they just got to hold their water, man. Because it all starts up front. And they just have to be consistent with it. It can't just be 1 week in, 1 week out. And that's what it pretty much comes down to.
Right. Yeah, and get rid of that injury bug, which looks like that O-line's been getting killed with a little bit.
And going back to West Virginia, one of the questions I wanted to ask, and I'm not really sure You weren't there, or how far away were you from the shooting that they had there? Remember the big shooting they had?
Oh, that was in Virginia Tech.
Oh,
That was
Virginia
Virginia
Tech.
Tech.
I'm
That was
sorry.
Virginia Tech.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
I'm
Virginia
sorry.
Tech.
Okay.
That was years later too. Yeah, that was years. But I remember that. That kind of hit home too. You know.
Yeah, it was right around the corner.
Yeah, it was right around the corner.
Well, one other last question. Your favorite quarterback you played for? Because you played for two great quarterbacks,
Yeah.
Aikman and Romo. You were there for both
No,
of them.
I didn't play for Romo.
You didn't play for
I thought
Romo?
she was talking about Drew
Oh,
Brees, man. Drew
oh.
Brees. I was over with Drew Brees over there.
He wasn't even a free agent when you were there?
Nah, Drew Brees was over there in San Diego. And what's his name? Who's the other little small guy from Buffalo, the quarterback?
Flutie.
Flutie.
You
Yeah.
played
I
with
played.
Flutie?
I blocked for him too as
Oh,
well.
wow. Okay. Who was the best
but
quarterback?
Come on, man. You know I'm going with my man Troy.
Okay.
All day.
right.
Yeah, Troy.
But you
Troy.
play with some. That's a whole different way because you know you had to hold your water with Troy because Troy ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
But Doug could be everywhere.
Yeah, I was about to say now one of the most athletics guys I played for, in terms of quarterbacks, Randall Cunningham.
Oh, yeah.
You play Randall Cunningham?
Yeah.
That's one of my
But
favorite.
Randall was at the
They brought
Cowboys.
Randall here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
that was
okay,
my
brought
favorite
Randall
dog.
here.
Yes.
And no lie, true
Favorite.
story. I'll never forget it. I came out. I had no clue that they brought him on. And
Right.
Troy got hurt, and I come out, practice. La-da-da-da. Man, that guy's built like Randall Cunningham.
Right.
Why is he wearing number 12? Who is it? So I
No,
literally
we're number
walked-
7 here.
Yeah,
You wore 7
yeah,
here.
excuse me. Yeah, it's
Yes.
yeah. So number 7. I'm like, man. So I literally went and grabbed his arm and looked him in his face. I'm like, Randall? Like the fan in me just came out. I was just like, he was there because he was all like, hey, Solomon. I was like, you know my name. Oh my God, you know my name.
Wow.
I would have been a fan.
All right, so he was
right.
like, of course I know your name.
Yes.
Well, you blocking for me. So
Were
I'm
you,
like, yeah.
was Rodney Pete was here too?
Yeah, but that was in the 90s.
You didn't say no,
Early
that was
90s.
before me. That was
Yeah.
before
No,
me.
it was the early 90s.
Well, 94,
No.
93.
I thought, okay.
Yes,
I thought
yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Yes,
Yeah, that was-
yes.
that was
That's right. That's
before
right.
me.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I'm just thinking of the black quarterback era because I go Rodney Pete, but yeah, Randall's my dude.
Oh,
man.
Randall, man. He
Randall was so quiet. He was
gosh.
quiet, kept himself in the locker, real cool guy.
Yeah, just real mellow.
Oh,
Just
man.
But he had an energy, man. He had this
Oh,
authority.
he did. You can see.
was
Hey,
like-
hey, how did Charlie Murphy say? You can see his aura. His
Exactly.
aura was-
Man.
You can see his
He
aura.
walked
He
in
was
the room
glowing.
First time you see Randall Cunningham, the first thing comes out of your mouth is, yes, sir.
Let me tell you a quick.
Respectful.
Let me tell you a quick Randall Cunningham story. Like lunchtime, okay?
Let me get that door for you, sir.
Yeah, at lunchtime he says, Paco, come here. Calls me over there and I said, yeah, Randall, I thought maybe he wanted me to do something. He says, you're all right, man. You're a cool dude. I said, oh, okay, why is that? And he says, I've been watching the way you interact with all these players.
He's very observant. Yeah.
You're cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean. He would
yeah.
just sit there. He'd eat his lunch and just observe everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Take
like
it
the
all in.
wise man.
Man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
mean, oh man, he was a cool dude, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool dude. But listen, guys, it's about time. Time's up. Bill, you got anything to say?
No, hey, for Cowboy Nation, tell your friends, get more people involved in this. This is a unique opportunity for you to be able to engage, to interact with guys who play the game, who created this brand, continues to support this brand. And as we go along, Wendy, you're part of America's team. So you might as well come on into America's locker room and watch us talk about the stories you can get nowhere else. So get this podcast really out there because you get to access things that no one else has access to.
And maybe one day you'll be able to see one of those things right there.
Exactly.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Solomon, we appreciate it, man.
Guys, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
This is a blast. I appreciate what you guys are doing, and just keep it up. I like it. I tune in every show, and I'm just gonna keep watching.
thank you.
And just keep doing what you guys are doing, man. I love it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Till next week, guys. Thanks for watching.
See you later.